Hey everybody, it's Rick Silva, referral coach. I'm here today with my friend Cate. Hi, Cate.
Hello.
Um, I put a post on Facebook that talked about having coffee meetings and building your business through meeting people for coffee, and Cate wanted to learn more, so here we are. So Cate's a real estate agent. I'm a referral coach helping you build your business through networking, through meeting people in coffee shops, not paying for leads, not working with leads, working with referrals because they're a lot easier to close. I'm now going to tell Cate a little bit of my life story, and then we're going to get into what referral networking is. Ready, Cate?
Let's do it.
So you're just
Yeah.
recently getting into wanting to rainmake yourself, i.e., bring in buyers and sellers.
Full time. Yes, I'm trying to make this be the primary source of income this
Okay,
year.
cool. Okay. What was the post or what did I say that got you to reach out? It's generally about coffee meetings, I
Shoot.
think.
It was in Lab Coats Agents. And I think somebody had said, where do you like it was one of those where you're seeing a gazillion of those right now, anonymous posts. Where was your highest lead source this year? And I
Yeah.
think that was where the post came or the comment came from. Because I read through the comments, but
Yeah. What types of challenges or questions? Now, just so we're clear, you'll see. So, not only do
there
I
you go.
teach networking, but I help my wife with her land investing business. That's where I've made my fortune. My wife, as you can
And
see,
that's
has a real estate license. I do not. I am a rainmaker for my wife's business, and I've been facilitating networking groups for the last almost 21 years. So I'll give you a little dog and pony show later. So let me preface, I said that to say this, but if you have specific questions about bringing in business, that might help set the tone for what types of help I might be able to give you. I don't have a real estate license. I know nothing about filling out paperwork. Don't care. That's not my job. My job, I bring in real estate business. My wife and I, in 13 years, have done about 1,000 transactions. I've been teaching networking almost 21 years. I've trained hundreds and hundreds of real estate agents and mortgage lenders and financial planners all over the world. There's no ulterior motive for what I'm doing with you. I don't I'm going to tell you I have a website that's onereferralaway.com that has a 12-part course with coaching. And if you're interested, go buy it. If you're not, I'm not here for that. What I am here for is to help people because it builds karma in my life, number one. And number two, for YouTube content. Because people see this type of stuff and then they buy the course and I get clients and I'm helping. So I'm help people for free to then get paying clients. It's just another way of doing business development.
yep.
So give me some questions you have about networking, selling, that kind of stuff to see where I might be able to fill some holes for you.
Sure. I don't exactly know what specific questions I have, but what I can tell you, maybe I can give you a little
Yeah.
synopsis of what I've started
Tell me
doing
what
and
you're
see
doing.
if you
Yeah.
can help me build off of that.
Yep.
So, what I've started doing is coffee dates, virtual coffee dates with people in different states, with licensed agents in different states that have similar personalities to me. In the real estate world, we are not like super salesy, sales shark driven. We lead with kindness and empathy first. And those are the types of people that I'm looking to connect with so that we can have a bigger referral network, which just like you with Karma, doesn't always come from a direct referral. In fact, I connected to people that I don't get any paycheck from,
Mm-hmm.
but it's putting the energy out there and knowing that people can come to me to help find an agent no matter where they are. And because of my experience with the Peace Corps, and I've always been on social media, so I've always friended people when I've met them because I just love stories.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, we should stay in touch. It doesn't matter if I talk to you for 5 minutes or 5 weeks. Um,
So
I've got people all over the place.
can I push pause real quick on that? When you're
Mm-hmm.
connecting with people in other states, they're all real estate agents or in other professions.
Currently, they're all real estate agents, is what I'm starting with.
So that part would
And then
be
my next,
building up, becoming a quote unquote referral agent. Yeah.
yes. And then the next piece of it, once I have hopefully somebody in every state, is I want to start working with service providers in Kansas City because I believe you should have a relationship in order to give a referral. And that was something I saw a lot in the event industry and I see in the real estate industry as well, is they just send names without feeling confident in what they're sending.
We're on track so far.
Good.
Yeah, this if it was I'm writing marketing materials and I want to email blast and I want to pay for Facebook ads, I'm not the guy.
that is kind of where I am in terms of the networking events, specific things that I'm doing. Where I'm really struggling is I'm a single mom trying to grow my business and only have so many hours in a day. And also am undiagnosed, self-diagnosed ADHD. And so keeping focus can be difficult.
Welcome to the
I'm also a
club.
millennial that,
Welcome to the
oh my
club.
God, it's so hard.
I have
It's so
major
hard.
ADD.
Oh, it's so hard.
Yep.
And it's a recent thing. And I tell friends and they're like, oh, of course, Cate. And I go, what do you mean? Of course. Nobody has ever told me this before. Now it's just this light bulb going on in my head. So I'm trying to figure it out. See if lion's mane is my thing. But anyways, we're limited. And so I'm trying to prioritize while also making sure that I am nurturing those relationships instead of feeling like a sales pitch or missing out on an opportunity.
Step one, and if you have more, I'm just going to throw this out there real quick. So it's kind of in some kind of order. When I edit this down, I'm probably going to make a video on just ADD. So I had a guy that was mentoring me. He was in his early 70s, 18 years ago. So his name's Ron Dorp. He's got 2 MBAs and a master's degree. He just liked going to school. He was on the board of directors for multiple companies. And I sat down with him and I said, I have a problem. I have ADD. And I wonder if I should go on medication, whatever. I'm freaking out. And he looks at me and he goes, explain more. And I said, well, if there's a lot of activities, I'm one of these guys. Like if the activities are stacked this way, I'm one of these guys that goes back and forth, but I'm not really good at completing any of them. And he goes, okay, what else? And I said, I can spin more plates than anyone I know. I can get more accomplished than anyone I know, except I can't totally finish. When I say accomplished, I can have a million projects going, but I need help completing them. But the stuff I can juggle and the stuff I can imagine is I've met very few people in my life that could keep up with me. And he goes, okay. And so he drew these lines and he said, so you can do all of this and you come up with ideas, but you have a hard time implementing them. He said, Oprah Winfrey does one thing at a time, or she juggles many things. I said she juggles many things. And he said Michael Dell, and then Gates, and then the founder of Apple, I can't remember, Steve Jobs. He named all these guys that were this. Very few CEOs and leaders of companies just stay on one task until it's completed. They hire people to complete them. And he goes, so
outsource.
So you do all of this and you're gifted at it, and you're telling me you need to go on medication. He goes, if you ever say that again, if you ever think you have a handicap again, I will never coach you again. He goes, you have a gift. He goes, you can juggle more than anyone you know. He goes, hire a secretary to help you do all your tasks. You just keep, right when you think you have a disability, then you look at it as you think you have a disability, you don't look at it as a gift. And I have it bad. But what I also do is I have sticky notes everywhere because ideas come in, but they leave so fast and you get pissed off at yourself for forgetting the idea. Write them down. Find software for ADD people on your phone. There's all kinds of and as soon as you have an idea, you open up, throw it in there. At least you know where the idea is. And then you can outsource the stuff that you came up with the idea, but you don't know how to implement it. Find somebody that does. That's all I'm going to say about that. You have a gift. So it's not something you should feel bad about. It's something you should take advantage of. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
I'm really good at outsourcing.
Yeah, good.
Right now, everything is so new that I'm not quite at a spot where I can.
Yeah.
But I outsourced my transaction coordination.
Yep. Now I'm 55 years old. So in my 20s and 30s and into my mid 40s, it was really bad. But I've learned to control it through diet. I had gotten diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So when cutting out the sugar, sweets, rice, bread, all that stuff that spikes your blood sugar is also what exacerbates ADD and makes it worse. So when I changed my diet, lost 30 pounds, completely cured type 2 diabetes, but now I got to keep it under control, has lessened my bouncing around, my chasing the next silver object or shiny object. It's hard to create wealth when you're constantly chasing. So, okay, enough about that. I want to know other activities you're doing to get business besides trying to network with the other agents around the country.
Social media is a tool for me. I don't currently do any paid advertising. I'm a storyteller. So unlike a lot of people, I've curated content that goes below the surface, and I'm very open and vulnerable in what I'm sharing online, and I always have been. So I'm not afraid to share online and to post online. And so those types of stories that I tell about my life almost always bring somebody in.
Cool. Okay. What else? Anything else? Questions?
Oh, right now, thought about joining a chamber and connecting with businesses that way. But again, I'm trying to not take too much on my plate, and I already have a lot.
You're left-handed, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna melt your pen's gonna start melting shortly. I'm just kind of getting revved up here. My first thought would be, I'm not telling you what to do, Cate. I don't know you. I have personally brought in, well, my wife's closed we just did 3 in the last 2 days. So a little over 1,000 real estate transactions, all in land. It's not houses, it's dirt.
Yeah, I noticed that, which is a brilliant niche.
I've probably brought in between 500 and 700 real estate transactions personally by myself, sitting in coffee shops or meeting with other professionals. I'll get into that. Personally, I'd be locally networking my brains out, not worry about anybody outside of the city of KC or NNA. I'm close to SF. You're close to KC, man. That's gonna be a Super Bowl. So, Cate, I'm gonna give you my life story in a nutshell with slides. Okay, so I'm actually gonna pull up slides on my screen. And inside of those slides are going to be some stories. And then when that's done, I'm going to explain to you how to build a referral network. Cool?
Okay. What do you record on? Just through Zoom?
I'm recording with Zoom. And then I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I have 3 27-inch monitors, 2 ring lights, a microphone, and my quote-unquote webcam is an $1,100 Canon M50.
Okay, hold on. There you go.
So I know you know cameras.
So you're recording on the camera as well? Yeah.
So this video, you're probably looking at a laptop little in-bed camera or like a webcam like right there.
I have a Mac, so
my webcam laptop is a Canon M50 with a Sigma 16 lens. That's $2,200 webcam.
Yeah, but this is what you do.
Yeah, which is what naturally brings me forward and blurs out the back. That lens does that. I have no software doing this. I just have lighting and it's really dark in here. Like if I turn this up,
I can tell you've got your shades down or shades, the blackout curtains.
And I turn this one way down and then I have the light up above me off because it puts a glare on the chrome dome. And the other big trick is don't look up too high because then the ring lights show up in the glasses. So my ring lights are way up there. Come aiming down. I spent a lot of time on this. So yeah, YouTube's my favorite thing. If I could just sit and make YouTube videos all day and not have to worry about making money, I love sitting in front of cameras.
Well, you've got your online course so far.
What's that?
You've got your online course so far. I mean, you're on the right track, and you could easily monetize that. Using other social media channels.
I've made hundreds of thousands with that. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and my YouTube channels brings in about 60 a year, and my wife's land channel, which only has 100 subscribers, that one's brought in over 800,000. But we both still like meeting people face to face. I don't need social media. I don't need the internet. I could sit in a coffee shop, make millions. I have, and I prefer it.
Yeah.
But as I get older, I got to tell you, I do like YouTube. Let's do it. So I grew up in the East Bay of California. I got an electrical engineering degree and I got a job with Eastman Kodak servicing copiers. I always like to show the copier so people know it's not a little desktop $200 copier. It's a $300,000 copier. That's me at 27 years old in Rochester, New York, in training class. I spent a lot of time going back and forth, learning how to service different copiers. I did that for 8.5 years. And then I became a recruiter at Cisco. I got laid off from Kodak. I became a recruiter. I rode a wave of .com fame and fortune in the .com world. Made millions, lost millions in stock options. That's a long story. But I got laid off in 98 from Kodak. I got laid off in 2001 from Cisco. After I get laid off from Cisco, I was married previously. I had a much smaller wedding ring than I have now. I was getting it cleaned at the jewelry store. I knew more about watches than the store manager, so he offered me a job. So I ended up selling jewelry for 2.5 years. And then I met this lady. I'm selling her jewelry constantly. I go, what do you do? She goes, I work for the Yellow Pages. I went, huh, I could get you a job there in a minute. So I actually interviewed there and got a job at the Yellow Pages. So between doing staffing and then the Yellow Pages, I've probably made, I don't know, thousands and thousands and thousands of cold calls. And if I back up here, when I was a recruiter, I think I'm going to go back. Yeah, right. When I was a recruiter at Cisco, right before Cisco, I was doing some recruiting for a smaller company. Cate, my boss, Jason, this was in like 99, 2000, was opening up the front door to his condo. And he heard this loud noise, and he looks, and his next door neighbor, by the way, what I'm about to teach you can make you millions. You take this story in, what I'm going to tell you, and you incorporate this into how you build your network, and you create millions of income. He's opening the door, he hears a loud noise, looks, and his next door neighbor is walking into his condo, and the grocery bag broke. The can of soup was rolling around, so my boss Jason went over and helped him pick up his groceries, and he helped him carry it into the kitchen. And the guy goes, hey, we've never met. What do you do? And Jason goes, well, I'm in staffing. I do software engineering, staffing, product marketing, product management. I'm a high-tech recruiter. And the guy's sitting there like just smiling. And Jason goes, why, what do you do? And he goes, I'm the hiring manager for Nokia's Internet Protocol Routing Group. Let's have coffee. So they meet up, and the guy had 32 or 33 software engineering positions open.
Wow.
We were making 20%. So Cate, if I got you a job for 120,000, the company owes me 20%, which is 24,000. 20% of your base salary is what our commission was. Well, 32 positions equated to $986,000. Now, Jason made most of that, but he filled those spots. It took a year. What I'm getting at is, in the beginning, we were cold calling. Hey, Cate, my name is Rick Silva with a total staffing solution, calling to see how I can help you with any of your current staffing needs. And we'd cold call. And then when you get an open rec or an open job to fill, you fill it. Now you're unemployed. Now you got to crush the phones again. It's no different than when they teach you to door knock or premise in real estate. Knock on doors. You finally get a listing. Great. They're either going to go with their neighbor right at the last minute. They're going to buy from you. They're going to fall out. Whatever happens when they're gone, you're unemployed. You got to go knock on doors again. And that was the life I was leading until one man gave us 32 openings, and our company made $1 million first year. That was just what we made from that one guy. And then that guy led us to VPs, and we got in with venture capitalists, and then we started taking stock options, and on paper I was worth $10 million, but the dot-com crash of 2000, 2001 took all that away. Then I was recruited by Cisco Systems. Then I sold jewelry. Well, this is something called power partnering. So Cate, you have one option is to go find clients, to look for clients. So if I was to take a circle here, Cate, and then there's two arms coming off. So if you want to draw a circle and a line coming off here and a line coming off here. So you got a pyramid. You got a circle and a line and a line. I'm going to take a samurai sword and cut you in half. On this side are friends and family members and people you meet from wherever, Facebook, but it's called a one-for-one activity. You're having a conversation to potentially make a sale, which is what we were doing by cold calling. Hey, it's Rick Silva with a total staffing solution, calling to see how I can help you with any of your current staffing needs. Click, now I'm unemployed again. I have an opening, I fill it, now I'm unemployed again. Or that was this side, or there's this side, which is called power partnering. It's two words, power partner. Now in real estate, sometimes your educator or your coach or your broker, Cate, will say, talk to your sphere, talk to your sphere, talk to your sphere, SOI. Now, if you ask them, how do you define that? 99.9% of real estate coaches say your sphere is your friend, your friends, your family members, people in your photography club. Your kids are playing sports. They're in the glee club, soccer club, library, whatever the heck it is. That's your sphere. That's people you hang around with. That's this side. And that's the side I say to never do. That's what all the people who don't know how to network tell you to do. So knocking on doors, talking to your friends, they see Cate coming. Oh no, Cate's going to try to sell me a house again. That's all on this side. Well, when Jason met that hiring manager for Nokia and he handed us $1 million, that is this side. This side is power partnering. So Cate, I'm going to give you an example. Okay. Name one industry who would, besides real estate agents, who would know when someone is looking to buy or sell a home.
Lending.
There's one. Okay.
Painters, cleaners.
You're doing good. My wife.
Keep going.
My wife for land investing has
26. I know this number. I was wrong.
163.
Okay. I knew there was a 6 in there.
Yeah. 163 industries, and I asked you for one and you named 4. So this is something to think about, Cate. To set yourself apart from other real estate agents, if I sat down every real estate agent office, every real estate agent, like a Keller Williams office has 100 agents, most 95 of them could, I'll give a benefit of doubt, 90 of them could name 2 to 10 industries. Maybe 2 or 3 could name 20, and maybe 1 or 2 could name 50. So I told you my wife's income when you become a multi-millionaire in your mid-30s in real estate, because you got a crap ton of industries you can name, and you've had a gazillion coffee meetings. So your income is directly in real estate. Your income is directly proportionate to, in my opinion, to how many power partners you can name and how many coffee meetings you have. I'm going to go into much more detail. I just want to insert this into what I learned when Jason met a guy who handed us $1 million. Then why all Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, Buffini, Ricky Carruth, all of these trainers say knock on door and talk to your sphere. And I say never, ever, ever knock on a door and never talk to your sphere. Meet with people who already have your client and teach them how to send you referrals. I'll go into more detail on that. It's just unfortunate that most people don't teach that. Go ahead.
I agree. So in the wedding industry, that's what set us apart with our photo booth company, was we weren't going to the brides. We were going to the venues.
Of course.
Because the first place that people went as soon as they got engaged was a venue, because venues are booking 18 months out.
That's it. Venues, and then dress, tuxedo, photography, videography, DJ, limo driver, travel agent, and on and on and on. Did you walk up and down the street knocking on doors saying, hey, you know anybody's looking to get married? Right. So why in the wedding industry did you do it?
Valid connection.
So why in the wedding industry you do it? Why in financial planning, the top financial planner guys teach, go talk to CPAs. If you do nothing else, just talk to CPAs. Why is it that the highest paid industry on the planet, bar none, which is real estate, do they teach to knock on doors and cold call, when in the photography industry, you would never do that? So because most real estate trainers know less than zero about networking. They know nothing about networking. Nothing. That's why you're not doing what I'm talking to you about, because they don't teach
Rick, they don't know marketing. They don't know business.
Right.
They don't know anything. They just see dollar signs.
Correct.
Which is my pain point with the industry and why I believe in doing it different. So thank you.
Yep. Okay. So I fixed copiers. Then I became a recruiter for a company where we did work with venture capitalists. Then as the .com crash was happening, I got recruited by Cisco. So I worked at Cisco, and then I got laid off from Cisco. That's when I sold jewelry, and that's when I met the Yellow Pages lady. Now, when I was doing Yellow Pages, I met a lady who was running networking groups. Have you heard of BNI or any kind of sit-down networking groups? So that's what I've been doing for the last... What's that?
I said I have feelings.
You have feelings about them?
About BNI.
Got it. Yeah, well, let's not say I'm here because I'm the biggest competitor and I don't want to sound like I'm bad-mouthing. I met a lady running networking groups. I started working with her in August of 2003. And then she retired, and I took the company over, and I started my company, B2B Gathering, April 1st, 2004. So I've been facilitating networking groups since August of 2003. In 6 months, it'll be 21 years that I've been running networking groups. So I've facilitated around 1,500 meetings, and I've had over 7,000 coffee meetings. I've met a lot of people and seen a lot. And what that does, Cate, it gives you, I'll find a way to bleep this, but a very good meter. When you meet people, you can size people up very quickly when you've met that many people. I have a BS meter. I have one of those things where it's like, this person's like, I want this, I want to get rid of, this person's putting on a vibe I don't like, because I know what I vibe with and what I don't. Well, when you've had that many coffee meetings, you can instantly know who you do and don't want to work with.
Rick,
The other
who do you
advantage
vibe with and who do you not vibe with?
I'm looking for more, me personally, I'm trying to find a reason I don't want to work with them than the reasons I do. I'm trying to figure out why I don't want to work with this person. If I can't find the reason, then I damn sure want to work with them. So I start running networking groups. If you recall, I don't know where you were in February, in like 07, 08, with that giant real estate crash. Now, for me, my house in 1 month went down $300,000 under the value of what I paid for it. So I couldn't sell it. So February 12th of 08, we decided to get divorced. I give my ex-wife my house, and I basically leave with nothing. And I got real estate agent and mortgage lending coaching clients, and they're all disappearing. So I go broke. That's not a car like it. That's my Cadillac DeVille that got repossessed. This building, if you've heard of John Madden, the very famous Raiders coach, who also they made all the Madden video games, in the area where I live, his family owns $300 or $400 million worth of real estate. Well, they bought this old mansion. This is a historical landmark. On the bottom is a restaurant, on top are offices. Now, Cate, you see this window here and this window here? These two windows? So those are these two windows here. So when I got divorced and lost everything, when I tell you I moved into my office, I literally put toaster and coffee pot here, clothes here, put clothes in this one down here, slept on that futon. I was homeless for 7 months, and I showered at the gym. And I'll tell you how I turned that into where I'm not homeless and I'm not showering in any gyms anymore. This is what BDB gathering looks like. So this is what my networking groups looks like. I met face-to-face for 17 years, once a month at 9 or noon in conference rooms, not in restaurants. When COVID hit, I moved everything virtual. And for those of you watching this video, I'm looking, including you, Cate, if you're interested, we'll talk about it later if you want. I'm looking for 2 or 3 people around the United States that might want to have their own group. I would facilitate it, and I would give them ideas on how to find the people, and then I would run the group, because I love running groups. I currently run 5. I used to have 20 until I met my wife, and I cut way back to help her. I have 5. I wouldn't mind running 2 or 3 more a month. I'm running the groups. In 2010, I meet my now wife, Marcella. So that's my wife, Marcella. Marcella grew up in New Mexico. She got straight A's in high school, straight A's in college, became a software engineer, and Lawrence Livermore Lab recruited her to work in the nuclear department, the National Defense Department of Lawrence Livermore Lab, as a software engineer. And the lab went through a transition from public to private. And when it did that, she held her 401k back. She always wanted to be wealthy. She got a real estate license, started going around as a software engineer part-time. She tried to do real estate, and it was, as you know, Cate, doing it part-time is very hard. And then she went to an investment seminar and met a lady who helps people invest in land. Now, Marcella's parents own land all over New Mexico. So she watched her parents' very humble career. Her father's a professional hunter, working 3 or 4 months out of the year, to being worth many millions of dollars because her mom took the money and invested in land. So Marcella meets a lady, likes the idea, and then starts doing land banking part-time. So what land banking is the practice of buying affordable pre-developed land in the path of growth. If you see these yellow lines, Google put those yellow lines to show where the roads ended up. But in this picture, there are no roads. In this picture, the land is 50 to 150,000 per acre. 10 years later, the land is 2 million to 7 million per acre. So my wife and I help people invest in land in areas that look like this, and then sit and hold and sell to developers. Been to Tahiti 4 times. So all the trips that I'm going to show you were all free, paid for by Marcella's company. Tahiti 4 times. That's Santorini. That's Athens, Greece. That's another trip to Tahiti. I have hundreds of other, been all over the world, all free. And I'm going to show you some pictures of the commission checks, and then I'm going to explain how we did it. Just so you know it's real, I didn't one day, I wasn't washing cars one day and the next day I read a book and said, hey, Cate, now I'm a coach. I've been doing this for 21 years, made millions and millions of dollars from it, brought in hundreds and hundreds of real estate transactions. There's another checky poo. There's another checky poo. That was my biggest for a long time, but we beat it, and I'll show you. So March of last year, this is all within 6 days. You'll add this up, it's around $41,000. But then we have to add that to it. I mean, $220,000 in a month. It's not bragging, Cate. The reason I'm showing you this is multiple points. Number one, I'm a coach. Number two, I didn't read this just in a book. 6,000, 7,000 coffee meetings, 1,500 networking groups. Read every book I could find on networking. Day and night, night and day, I study business development. So I only show you this to let you know that I've done it. Now what I want to do is I want to go over with you, Cate, that everything's involved in a network. And then after I go over this slide, I'm actually going to turn this off and I'm just going to talk to you. I'm not going to keep showing you slides, okay? This is everything needed to build a referral network. So I'm not going to spend hours on this. I'm just going to kind of break this down for you. Okay, so the epiphany story is great. And I saw you smile when you saw this because you said you like to tell stories. I'd like to consider myself to be a better than average storyteller also. The epiphany story would be you saw mine. There's good, then there's heartbreak, then there's overcoming the heartbreak, then there's this. Well, yours, you've got this life of travel. I can't imagine what you went through in your divorce. Then you had to either sell or give up or whatever with your company, and then you did this, then you did photography, and then you got kids, and you're trying to bust your ass, raise your kids, and you got to make money to survive, and then you real estate, and then that story, that roller coaster story gets people to fall in love with you. Now, I'm not insinuating you just fell in love with me, but I bet you related with some of my story. What you want to do is you want to, number one, build Cate's epiphany story. Why are you a real estate agent? Because if the response is to make money, you might as well go get a job because you'll never make it. And this goes for not just you, Cate. I'm saying this because I know there's going to be people watching this video for the rest of my life. Number one, you have to create a story. I have software that can help you do that. If you're interested, onereferralaway.com. Right there. There it is on the screen. Onereferralaway.com. All right. Part two, avatar. Cate, I need to be able to ask you, and I don't want you to answer it now. I want to go through this, and we're going to talk a little bit about it after. But if I say, Cate, what's your perfect avatar? Well, if you're doing any kind of Facebook or any kind of advertising, that's a target. That's the person you're targeting. I need an age range. If there's a sex, male or female, you like to work with, what's their circumstance? Married, divorced, empty nester, a kid on the way, somebody they did upsize, kids are off to college, empty nesters a downsize, somebody died, inheritance. There are multiple circumstances that lead people to need to buy homes. So age, sex, do they want condos, houses, mansions? Why are they buying? When you build that paragraph or two, that's your customer avatar. Because you can't go into a networking appointment and somebody's going to, what's a good client for you? Anybody needs to buy or sell a home.
Yeah.
So number one, Cate has to have her personal story. Number two, in unbelievable detail, you have to tell me what your client looks like. And then there are multiple laws. I don't think I have the printout here, but the main laws, in fact, I wrote down the first law that you were talking about. You want to get by giving, and you said I referred two people to each other. I'm not getting a paycheck. If that's all you did, Cate, your paychecks would be so big you wouldn't even know what to do with the money. And I can tell you that from personal experience. So one of the biggest laws is the law of reciprocity, which says give with no thought of return. Abundance comes to the most unexpected sources, the most unexpected places, at the most unexpected time, in the most unexpected amount. One other thing real quick about the law of reciprocity. The Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, every religious writing in the history of the world, they don't agree on anything. They don't all different gods, everything. But two things they agree on. Number one is love. And number two is the law of reciprocity, give with no thought of return. So law of reciprocity, law of abundance, the law of sowing and reaping are the main laws you have to follow. And I go into great detail that in my course. Then you have to have an elevator pitch. And it's not just any elevator pitch. You got to take your epiphany, and your avatar, you combine them into a 30 or a 60-second introduction. If anybody wants that training for free, that's all also One Referral Away. You can go there, click the button, watch the video, send me your elevator pitch. I'll critique it and send it back. So that's elevator pitch. Then we have to list power partners. Remember I asked you for one and you named 4 or 5? Try to get it up to 50. Number 5 said list your power partners. Awesome. But now you got to go find them, Cate. So I have this all built into my training. I'm not giving a lot of this is not being even free on YouTube. This is built into the system that I created. 17 herbs and spices in the Colonel chicken, and the owners of a KFC franchise only know 3 of the 17 ingredients. I'm not giving them all away for free, but I am giving you the entire foundation. So you got to have your personal story. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to follow the laws. You have to have a good elevator pitch. You have to list tons and tons and tons of industries. Then you have to find them. Then you have to get them to meet you for coffee. So not only do you have the list of industries and then the list of people, you got to get them to meet you for coffee, whether that's face-to-face or Zoom. I prefer meeting my local power partners if they're within 15 miles of me face-to-face the best I can. Will I do Zooms? I'm doing a Zoom with you right now. Now you're in KC, so I have to. If it's more than about a half an hour drive, that's not happening. Rick Silva's not driving a half an hour anymore for anybody, so I'll do a Zoom. I'm long past needing to do that stuff anymore. And then what do you do in the coffee meeting? You got to have a system. You have to have slides. You got to have a story you tell. You got to get them engaged and get them interested to know about you. And then why should they send you referrals? Why Cate? That's all built into that face-to-face, whether it's Zoom or face-to-face presentation. Then Cate, you got to teach them how to send you referrals. And then when that's all done, you got to keep them top of mind. So when a financial planner or a CPA or an estate planning attorney has an opportunity, one of their clients, just their meeting this happened to me personally. My grandmother died. Well, we had to sell the house. It was in the estate. So what I have to do, I have to find a real estate agent. So if you networked with 100 estate planning attorneys, you'd be set for the rest of your life if you do it right. Mm-hmm. Now, I say that's not all you should do, because I met a lady, the first 7-figure real estate agent I ever met. What she would do is she'd have a trifold brochure, and she told me, she goes, this is my opinion as a real estate agent. If you move from one area to another, and I put you in this home right here, I put you in this house. She goes, I feel it's my responsibility that now that you've moved to this town, it's my responsibility as your agent to tell you where all the best restaurants are, to introduce you to next hairstylist, the next person that's going to mow your lawn, paint your house, do your electrical, clean your house, do your hair, eyebrows, nails, teeth, any service you need. I feel as a real estate agent, I should be providing that to my client. Cate, that's what sets the door knockers apart from the networkers. That's why the door knockers could never compete. Because when you're knocking on doors, you go, hey, it's Rick Silva looking to see if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell a home in the next 3 to 6 months. And you smile. I've got a whole series coming out. I've got a whole series coming out on door knocking to get people to stop doing that. But when you do that door knocking, awesome, you got a listing. But what sets you apart where you don't have to do that door knocking, Cate, is when you network with, just think about this. If you had coffee with a mortgage lender, a financial planner, a life insurance agent, an estate planning attorney, and a CPA, and then you have a client who just inherited money, they need a CPA and a financial advisor, they might need a life agent, and then now you're starting to build these little mini teams. So not only are you pleasing the client by providing all the services they need, which makes them happy, which builds my little note right there. The first thing I wrote down right there was reciprocity. You're building reciprocity with the client. Now, Cate, when you refer the mortgage lender to the client or the CPA to the client, does Cate get paid? No. Does Cate make $1? Does Cate make $1? No. But Cate built reciprocity with the client. Do you think it's possible in the next 10 years, Cate, that person's going to tell somebody about you? The answer is duh. So you differentiated yourself because when you had that client, you referred professional services to them. Now, where you also built reciprocity is with your power partner, financial planner, CPA, estate planning attorney. You brought them in to serve as your client. Some of the clients being serviced better. So you're building reciprocity with the client, but way more important than building reciprocity with the client, way more important, is building reciprocity with the mortgage lenders, the financial planners, and the CPAs who, if you teach them properly, might send you each a deal a month, might send you a deal a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shortest way I can explain referral networking. I have a mortgage lender that we met. We did a seminar, and there was a mortgage lender named Estella. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll pop up Estella's picture right now. Boom, there she is. I've done 100. We just closed another one. I think 103 or 104, not referrals, closed transactions. And some of those checks are from the referral sheet we got. 103 or 104 closed transactions from one mortgage lender. And I've had, 7,000 coffee meetings. My wife's had a little over 4,000, I believe. That's 10 or 11,000 coffee meetings. But this whole crazy referral networking thing is this is what I tell real estate agents. Don't ever look for clients, ever. Find people who already have them and teach them how to send them to you, and vice versa. Rick, why would anybody ever send a referral to me when I haven't done blah, blah, blah? So one of the ways to do it, Cate, this is the magic pill. Why, as a new real estate agent with no activity, would a financial planner ever send me an introduction? Here, you ready? This is secret sauce I don't give out a lot of times on a YouTube channel. I'll actually put this up there. Cate, if you met a financial planner, a CPA, a banker, an estate planning attorney, a life insurance agent, do you think it's possible that the financial planner would also love to meet the CPA?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they'd like to meet the banker? Do you think the financial planner might like to meet an estate planning attorney? You think it's possible? What if after you've met a few of these people, you open up an email and you started doing email introductions where, Rick, I don't have any clients. I can't give them referrals. Could you introduce a financial planner to a CPA, to a banker, to a estate planning attorney? Now, one is a potential closed business if you sent them a client, but the other one is a potential 100 deals. So you build your network by introducing your network to your network. Don't worry about sending referrals around as much as when you start having coffee meetings, you introduce the house cleaner to the painter to the general contractor to the electrician. If I didn't use carpet cleaner, the carpet cleaner to the house cleaner, the financial planner to the CPA, the banker to the CPA, to the life insurance, to the business coach, to the commercial real estate agent. You start introducing your network to your network, and now Cate becomes a completely different person than anyone in her office who's taught the door knock and cold call by Brian Buffini and all those other guys that don't know jack about building a business. So Cate, onereferralaway.com has a 12-part course. It's $795. It comes with 2 hours of one-on-one coaching. So anybody watching this is interested, go there and check it out. Cate, any questions you have that I can help you with now that I've kind of probably reinforced some stuff you had thought of? You already did in the photography business, but I did have you explain this business and you actually had it backburnered until you found agents all over the country. I'm saying backburner the agents and do what you did for your photography business.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah. No, and I think you're right. And I thought about that as I was figuring out the steps and the order I was going to do it. And I don't know what the ultimate thought was for choosing it the way that I did, but I do think you're right on starting local before going further. I actually did make a list based on one of your videos of those referral partners.
Awesome.
Industries.
Good. Awesome.
So, or it's more of services that are provided.
There you go. So that's a really good part. And then, so you just need to build out. Now, what I did with you is I told you my personal story in slide form. So you actually saw the futon I slept on when I was homeless. You saw the office. You saw the car that got repossessed because it hits more senses. So like you want to create some kind of a power.
It's relatable.
What's that?
It's relatable and it just feels more real instead of made up.
Yeah. So you'll want to build that out and then what your perfect client is. And then you already have the list. Then you got to find them. Mm-hmm. Then the hardest part, which is a secret sauce I am not giving on this video, is how to get those people to chase you. You not chase them. It's the wording you use to get them to be begging to, not all of them will, but you meet with the ones who are begging to meet you face to face or Zoom. And then it's how you present, what you present, and how do you build your referral network. So that last half, that that finding the industries, finding the people, setting the coffee meeting, getting people to meet with you, building a referral network. That's my specialty. I'll teach you all you want about the front end, but that back end, that's the you can't give it all away for you. You're not going to go and sell somebody a house and not get paid. But
Yeah.
What do you have any questions inside of that? Inside of anything we covered?
My question for you is, if you've had that many coffee meetings, how do you stay in contact to keep top of mind other than an automated email?
Yeah. Okay. So let's make sure we're clear on one thing. 7,000 coffee meetings, that's 21 years.
Fair.
So let's without sounding too morbid, a number of them have died, right? I mean, 21 years, you meet somebody in their 60s, so I've had those 7,000, I'm going to say with 2 downturns in the last 21 years, I'm going to say 3,000 or 4,000 of those people are not in business anymore, whether they changed careers, job failed, died, moved away, right? Because it's 21 years. I still do like 3 a week, but in my peak, I was doing 5 to 10 a week. And you gotta kiss a lot of frogs, Cate. So let's take the 7,000 and cut it down. Now there's 3,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now of those 3,000, there's certainly 1,000 minimum that showed up late. I didn't get along with. There was just something about them. We just didn't line up. They work for business, big business. I work for small business. They work with this. I work with that. So naturally, a lot are going to get ferreted out. So let's say 2,000 goes down to 1,000, right? So now I got 1,000. So the number's not 7,000 because you're gonna go on a lot of dates before you get married. So of that 1,000, there's probably in our business that we work really closely with 50 to 75, and the other one's just in the periphery.
So kind of the 80-20 rule where
I'd
20% provides the 80% of the business.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Cate, I'm 95-5. So what we're talking about with the 80-20 rule for those who are watching this is 80% of your money is going to be made from your top 20% of your referral partners. But here's the opposite. 80% of your time is going to be wasted by the bottom 20%. So I'm in replacement mode. I'm always looking for more mortgage lenders and real estate agents to network with for my wife's land business because the 80-20, so I'm looking at my screen, and this is my screen. I'm actually touching the top and bottom of my screen. So 80% of my money is made by the top 20% of my referral partners, right? So that means this bottom 80% of people is only 20% of my income. So take this 80% and constantly try to be replacing them. It's called replacement mode. You got to keep these happy. Estella, who I've done 105 deals with, Cate, I'll show a picture of Estella right now. I'll show a picture of Heather right now. Those two are a significant amount of my income. My life revolves on keeping those two people happy and, 20 or 30 or 40 other people. But I'm 95-5 because Heather and Estella and 2 or 3 others account for 50 of my 67 deals last year. 4 people or 50 of those. 4. Having said that, those other 50 or 60 or 70 people, maybe each one of them is a deal every 5 years. Cate, do the math. If you had 50
I can't do the math that fast, but I trust you.
It's a crap ton of money. If you were pretty close with 50 people and a house cleaner, whatever, and they sent you a deal every 3 years, you're doing 15, 16, 17 deals a year from one person sending you a deal every 3 years because you had a crap ton of coffee meetings. And if those 50 people sent you a deal every 3 years, you're doing 17 deals a year. I'm going to ask you a question. If you get this wrong, I'm leaving. If 50 people,
it's not math, is it?
It's a little bit of math, but it's the answer is no. Get ready. If 50 people, each one sent you a deal every 3 years, that's 50 divided by 3 is 17. You're doing 1.5 deals a month. If you had low overhead or no bills, would you have to look for business? The answer is no.
No.
Right.
It's being sent to you.
Correct. Are you door knocking or cold calling?
Like, no.
No, because you had 1,000 coffee meetings to find 50 people. That now equates to a deal and a half a month. For me, it's about 4.5 to 5 deals a month. And I don't look for business. The average real estate agent, Cate, spends 25 to 35 hours a week looking for business. I'm saying I want you to do that. But on this side, remember the 2 V's? This side, you talk to your friends and families and door knocking 30 to 25 to 35 hours a week. And then you make a sale and you can do that crap all over again. I'm saying 25 to 30 hours a week of meeting with financial planners, CPAs, mortgage lenders, people who you can teach how to send you referrals. And then in 2 or 3 years from now, you're not going to be knocking on any doors. Your doors are going to be getting knocked down like mine. So I'm saying to cold call. I'm telling you to cold call. CPAs, bankers, mortgage lenders, house cleaners, handymen, carpet cleaners. Yes, cold call. Get them to freaking meet you. Teach them how to send you referrals and you vice versa. And then you're not knocking on doors. And you know the whole thing like Ricky Carruth. Hey, get Smile and Dial. Get that list. Buy that list. Get the soft. Look at the mirror and smile as you Smile and Dial. And you get fired up, get pumped up and do. Cate, do you have to do any of that if you're going to meet a CPA for coffee in a coffee shop where you're just going to sit there and talk to each other about your business and figure out how you can try to exchange clients with each other? It's unnatural. Smile and dial. Look at the mirror because you won't frown at your own face. All this crap I was taught is all garbage. Now, in the beginning of a beginning real estate agent's career, I honestly think you should door knock, but it shouldn't be your life's goal, right? We don't want to spend our whole life door knocking, but door knock, it makes you tough, gives you some experience, teaches you rejection and all that. But ultimately, this is your cold calling and this is your meeting with power partners. We want to ultimately no more cold calling. And all Cate's doing is meeting with that list of 140 you came up with for coffee, Zoom or face-to-face. And you guys are just learning more about each other. But the beauty of the coffee or the Zoom meeting is if people are showing up late, they missed the meeting, oh, something came up. Do you want to send that person to one of your highest end clients? The answer is no.
It's just like recruiting.
Yeah, it is. And we're filtering out the gunkies. I got to have 7,000 coffee meetings to find 100 people, my whole career, probably 300 people that I really wanted to work with. But those numbers equate to millions and millions of dollars. Cate, I wanted to thank you for hopping on this and giving me the honor of training you and coaching. If you're a real estate agent struggling, you need more referrals, you don't want to door knock and cold call, I encourage you to go to onereferralaway.com or you can email me, rick@onereferralaway.com, and I'll do my best to help you. Thank you. Take care.
Anyone that was watching, how would they sign up for your course? Or, I mean, is there any course options or stuff like that?
Thank you for asking. So this is onereferralaway.com. Thank you very much for asking, AJ. If people do want to hire me to coach them, this is how we do it.
Got it.
So you go to onereferralaway.com and you see this bouncing here. Click on that button and this explains the course.
Got it.
This is the curriculum. It's all webinar based. It's a recording of webinars. It's 6 or 7 hours long total. There's my bio and some testimonials. There's my wife and there's all kinds of cool. There's a mortgage lender, financial planner, attorney. I could put 200 of them on here, but there's no need. The options to buy, this button right here, it's $795 to purchase the course or 3 payments of $279. And it comes with all of these recorded webinars. And right here, you can see right there, it comes at 2 hours of one-on-one with me.
Awesome.
Now, if somebody needs more than that, we're going to back up and we're going to click on this button over here. And then 1 hour of one-on-one coaching is $250, 2 hours, $395. Most people, AJ, do the 6 hours for $995. Now, with that, I don't like to do longer than an hour straight because it's overwhelming for both of us. 6 hours, that's 24 15-minute sessions or 12 30-minute sessions or 6 1-hour sessions or a whole crap ton of 10-minute sessions. I'll break it up any way somebody wants. And I'm generally don't stare at my watch. So that 6 hours probably turns into 7 or 8, honestly, when it's done.
Yeah.
So that's the way, but start here with onereferralaway.com and you click that button and that's the course and that's how you join.